Hello everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and this week we're going to be focusing on a very small brewery out of Warren, Michigan. Now you may or may not remember when I did Raspberry Week, one of the beers that we looked at was the Kuhnhenn Raspberry Eisbock. And so Kuhnhenn is the brewery that I wanted to focus on this week. My buddy Randy, you've probably heard me mention him before. He actually brought me back some Dark Lord from this year's release. When he went up to Michigan to kind of take care of some family business and also go to the Founders Brewery and some other breweries up in Michigan, one of the ones that he stopped by was Kuhnhenn. So I went out and I did a little bit of research and tried to find some beers that maybe I would be interested in. Of course, I knew nothing about them at the time. I still really don't know a whole ton about them. I do know that they're a very small brewery up in, again, Warren, Michigan. Their brewery used to actually be a hardware store. And so, Lowe's moved in down the street, much like what is going on in this country all over. The bigger corporations are taking over and kind of weeding out the smaller businesses. So what they decided to do with the hardware store was turn it into a brew pub, and so they started brewing a lot of small batches of beer. Now with Kuhnhenn, their beers don't have that wide of a distribution. In fact, they're pretty hard to get. So when Randy was up there in Michigan, it was very nice of him to bring some of these back, and I've actually been looking forward to trying these. I've had one or two of them, and I can't remember, not of these, but I've had the Eisbock and one other, and to be honest, I can't remember what the other one was. But anyway, the three that we're going to be looking at this week, the first one that we're going to review today is the Mayhem, which is a Belgian strong ale. And then we're going to take a look on Wednesday at this one right here, which is the Old Bruin. It is a sour cherry ale. And then on Friday, we're going to take a look at the Fourth Dementia, which is an old ale. So all are pretty high in ABV as well. So hopefully, we'll get a lot of good flavors out of these beers. So let's go ahead and look at this first one. This is called the Mayhem. Again, it's a Belgian strong ale. From the research that I've been able to do, this clocks in right at about 10.5%. It doesn't even say it on the label. Beer Advocate says, I think it's got a question mark on it, so I'm guessing it's probably around the 10 to 10.5, 11% range. So with that said, let's go ahead and give it a pour and see what's going on. Now, because this is a bit of a higher ABV beer, I didn't really put these in the refrigerator. I set these down in my sub-basement on the cold floor for several hours, and just filling the bottle, I can tell you that this is at a really good temperature. You want these beers to be cool but not cold, and that's what this one is. So let me go ahead and give it a little swirl here, because I'm afraid there's probably not going to be a whole lot of head on this one, and I know their beers tend to be sweet, so I'm hoping that's not the case with this one. But the color on it is about the color of, it's like a dark raisin or prune color. And there is some ruby red lighting that comes through when I hold it up to the light. But you can't see through this one. It's really murky. Again, kind of a brownish red color. Now the head on it, even as I give it a little bit of swirl here, kind of dissipates rather quickly. It's a yellowish tan color, I guess you could say. So, not a whole lot going on with the head here, which I will be honest with you, that kind of, concerns me when a beer doesn't get a whole lot of head. That usually means that it's extremely sweet or extremely high in alcohol, or just very chewy and viscous on the palate. And I tend to not like beers that are too over the top in terms of sweetness, unless of course there's enough hot presence or bitterness to really kind of help round that out. But let's go ahead and smell it. So I really kind of like the way this one smells. It reminds me of Hair of the Dog's Adam. It's got a lot of, you know, really rich caramel malts in there. Getting a lot of those sticky fruits as well, like raisins, figs. And I do know when I read on their website that they talk about this beer being sort of brewed in the Abbey style. And I know that they brew this beer, they actually boil it overnight to really kind of help facilitate that caramel quality in it. So definitely getting a lot of that caramel. Tons of those sticky fruits, you know, and that's pretty much it on the nose. I do smell some alcohol, you know, just raw alcohol burn from, you know, the 10.5, 11% that's coming out of here. So let me go ahead and give it a taste, though, and kind of see how that measures up. So yeah, it smells very, or excuse me, it tastes very similar to the way it smells, only it's more pronounced. So that sweetness does come out. The heat is high enough that it actually kind of, I guess, tricks the palate into thinking that it's a bitterness. So it's really kind of helping cut through a lot of that initial sweetness. It feels like a really big barley wine, but it doesn't have that hop character that would typically be associated with a barley wine. It's definitely a big beer. Again, really the taste is about the same as the aroma. Not a whole lot else coming out of there. You know, to me this is a really nice beer for wintertime or even fall. You know, I know that we're kind of in the middle of summer right now, and a lot of the beers that I've been reviewing are things like Saisons and triples, and even a lager or, you know, Belgian IPA or two here. But I'm going to go with the fact that if we were in the middle of winter right now, I think I would actually really enjoy this beer. It's not the best beer I've had. It's not blowing my mind. I don't think it's in the upper echelon. But I do think that it's a very nice beer. I think it's a good beer to come home from, you know, being outside all day. You know, maybe you've been playing football or watching football or whatever, and it's, you know, chilly outside, and you want to just kind of come in and, you know, throw on some sweatpants and hang out and watch some football. This would be a really good beer to enjoy with that. So yeah, all in all, pretty good beer. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sit here and, you know, finish the rest of this off. But I want to kind of start asking you guys a question of the day, and a lot of times the question will be just focused on maybe what I've been thinking about lately. And earlier I was on YouTube, and, you know, I noticed that Bill Maher had posted a video of George Carlin talking about, you know, politics when he was on his show, and it really made me, you know, remind myself of how much I miss George Carlin, how much I miss his humor, how much I miss him educating the peoples. So why don't you guys tell me who your favorite comedian is? You know, is it George Carlin? Is it, who is it? I'd like to know who your favorite comedian is. So he's obviously mine. I do like some Zach Galifianakis as well. Some Louis C.K. If you haven't heard him, he's really funny as well. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, alright? My name is Mark Starr, and we'll see you later. Bye.